is Oyewole Yakeen Ajagbe. I was born in Oyewole in the then western part of Nigeria before the independence. I schooled in Oyewole for my primary school education, and I went to Oyewole Grammar School, which is about 5 miles away from my town, where I did my secondary school and GC. During my day in the secondary school, I was only maybe one of the few that actually read newspapers, the Times. I actually get supplied with my own Times daily. Therefore, I was actually conversant with what was going on. And I've just introduced myself as Oyewole Ajagbe. As of 1966 January, my name was Oyewole Akintola. Akintola was the premier of the western state of Nigeria. And when the coup happened, he was killed. And he was synonymous with bad name. So I have to change my family name from Akintola to Ajagbe. So that says it all. So talking about the coup, yes, the first coup, January 15, 1966, led to a belief that it was one sectional coup. So most Nigerians believed that was an Igbo coup, even though the corruption was very glaring. But in order to arrest it, most parts of Nigerians believe that the way the people who planned the coup, the way they've gone about it, was wrong. And that's actually the beginning of our problem. I was a teacher of mathematics and physics at Grammar School for about a year before I sought employment with Nigerian National Shipping Line, who actually gave me a scholarship to come to the United Kingdom to study marine engineering in 1974. So I came to the country January 14, 1974. That's a day I will never forget because it was very cold. In Portsmouth, where I lived first, I'm beginning to see into English culture. In fact, I went out with an English girl, and that's not only because maybe because of the youth, or maybe to know more about English culture, which I did. Without going out with English girl, I wouldn't know much about their culture, and I did. And that to tell you the type of person I am, because I became a federal study human rights law, but I've never been brought up to discriminate against anybody. In Nigerian, I had lecturers who are white, Canadian, or sort. So I've been used to actually, but then never knowing anything about English culture. So, and living in Portsmouth allowed me to know English culture because I lived with two families, and there are things that I could see that were never compatible with our culture, and that made me actually think more how marrying an English woman will maybe affect my judgment about our culture, how the difference between the culture and how such a marriage could succeed. So I question that most of the time, but I often say that I've seen a lot of people who are married to English people and they've been successful, maybe because they are prepared to give away some of part of their culture. Naturally, because the head office of Nigerian National Shipping Line was in Liverpool, Water Street, most of us try to get closer to the head office so that if you have any problem, it can be resolved. So after my 2 years course in Portsmouth, I'm going to see, we are all asked to actually report in the hotel in Liverpool. So naturally, plus the fact that most of the time when you come to Liverpool, you see a lot of Nigerians, Ghanaians, Sierra Leone who are prepared to talk to you, even take you to their house, elderly, much older than us. I remember Uncle Tom, God bless him, he's passed away, he's a Nigerian. He will take us to his house, we can do what we want, cook African food, he will buy food, we eat. So it naturally became a home. Liverpool became a home without any further thinking about it. We just naturally adopted it as most seamen. That's our home. I have, God blessed me with 3 boys, but took one of them away. So one died. The first one died. So I have only 2 sons left. Yes, the only person who lived in this house with me now is the second son. Sheung, the second son, will be about 32 in September, and Dami will be 25 in October. That's correct. So Dami loves his sports, but then that's actually putting him in trouble. So I can't say more than that about him. I always laugh at this even when I discuss my colleagues at work. The culture that a man goes out to work and every Thursday he brings the package of the money and hand it over to his wife, and his wife now actually say, okay, this is your pop money on Sunday, because we all go for a drink on Sunday. The family I've lived with, once Sunday afternoon, it's a culture. The man goes to the pub with half a drink and go back home already half tipsy, and then we all sat down at the table half meal, which is not very common with African culture. We all have a meal. We all eat together in African culture, but not sitting on the table. And then at the end of 8, the woman says, that's it, we've done our bit. It's now you men. We now clear the plate and take it to the kitchen and start washing. If my brothers come to the UK, even though I do the washing in my house at the moment, they see me washing in the kitchen, they'll be cussing me. So what is wrong with him? So if you know what I mean, that's one of the first things that actually occurred to me. It's not a taboo, but I think African culture is way far off from you giving your wage package to your wife and let her decide how much you can have with that package. I'm not sure it won't happen in my lifetime. I don't even think it's going to happen in the next generation either. The worst relationship I faced was actually going out with a white girl in Portsmouth in 1974. You know, and we're in a club, and I was dancing with my girlfriend, and somebody came to me, how can a nigger be dancing with a white woman? That was the worst I ever faced. And of course, I didn't take it lightly, because as I've told you earlier on, I've come so much close to white people in Nigeria. They've been my lecturers, they've been behaved to me like any other human being, even though at that time I was aware of the problem in South Africa, but it was never a problem for me, because I've always seen myself as educated, you know, and therefore I cannot buy the idea of somebody treating somebody differently because of the color of their skin. And of course, what I did that time, I had a fight with this person, not that same night, but a few days later. And of course, involved the police. If it's today, maybe I would have been charged with a criminal offense. But I got away with it because the college, actually, because he was also a student in the college as well. So the college didn't take it lightly, and he was sent back to his company and was disciplined. So, but besides that, in Liverpool, the racism, if you can look at it, is not. It's only when you go to the shops that you know that something's not right. In spite of the fact that you are looking at 7% black in Liverpool, and yet you go to the shop, it doesn't reflect that. Whereas if you go to London, it's a different thing entirely. So I never, and it surprised people, even as far back last year, somebody called me a nigger, and I didn't do anything because I've always seen it as ignorance. So, or a means to intimidate me, because some people knew, but they still want to intimidate you. So I've never taken it seriously, and I've tried to educate my children as well, that if people react to you because of the color of their skin, then you need to know that you are better than them.